Hello all. Well, I just had dinner at my son's house and sorry, it is still a little sunny out. Put the garbage cans right in front of where I parked. So that guy, I said to him, I have to be honest, I really can't get past the fact that you did not wish me a happy birthday. That the one person that my phone was blowing up all day with birthday messages. And the one person that I really wanted to hear from, I didn't. And it was very hurtful. And you might think it's silly, but I don't. And haven't heard from him. So I went back on today to Facebook dating and partly curious to see if if he was back on, and two, to move on. And he popped up and it said, "You're a perfect match. You are a perfect match," or something like that. And I'm like, oh boy, how wrong you are. And he was on, and he only had, it's a different profile, because I know the pictures that he had on the last time, and there was about 4 or 5. This time only 2. And not just that, but it was very, really nothing to say. Like the last time he had things to say. But when we had the conversation about him smoking, he said that he has occasionally on his profile. And I'm like, I don't think so, because I wouldn't have, liked you back. But maybe I missed that. Maybe I didn't pay attention. But it says never again for smoking. So that's bullshit. So I blocked him. Oh, I got a pain in my head. What the hell? I blocked him so that he can't see me on there. And he did say to me that he had taken his profile down when after we talked the first time. He's like, oh, I was getting crazies on there and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then he said that he goes, if we meet and you're like, ugh, I don't want this fat man, then, I'm not even going back on the online dating. I think I'm just going to do it if I meet someone naturally. And so that's a big fat lie too. I think he has, like I said, issues, and I need to not give him any more of my time or energy. I'm listening to this book, an audio book, because it is cheaper on Amazon to buy the book, but I had a credit on Audibles, so I got the audio book, and it's almost 11 hours, and it's called The Let Them Theory, and it's all let them. Like, people are going, and I just love this theory, and it's easier said than done, and it's people are going to judge you no matter what. Let them. It's not your problem, it's their problem. And if you let what they say about you and think about you control how you are, what you do, then you are letting them control you, which is the truth. I mean, it really is. If it's like I said, it's easier said than done to not worry about what people think. And there is one thing in the chapter that I am reading that, I finished. It said that people that, blow up and then ignore you and either ghost you, or if it's a friend or family and they just ignore you, it's their problem, not yours. It's because they didn't know how to deal with their emotions. So in turn, And you saying, did I do something to upset you? You're not letting them deal with their emotions. And a lot of people probably do that with them. And I have friends that are like that. And the one friend, the one time, I was like, you know what? I'm done with her crap. I'm done with her blowing up at me and me going, what did I do? And then her putting it on me. And I just ignored her. I was done. I'm done with you. And took a couple of years. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. It took a couple of years, but she came back and she's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, she worked through it. So that works in this respect. Also, don't let people bully you. Like, and don't do things to please other people. Do it for yourself. And the one instance she uses that, you know, this weekend is planned along, you know, a weekend to celebrate a friend's, you know, special birthday, whatever. But then, you know, your mother calls and says, your grandparents are coming this weekend. And, you know, they'd really love to see you. So you go to the Friday night, you go. Oh, so sorry. You go and you have a great night, and then you get up the next morning, and you drove 4 hours there. So you have a great night. You're hungover, all this, but you leave a note, you know, had a great time, but I have to go. Well, the friend is like, why did she even come? You know, let her, and it's saying, let people feel the way they feel. And I have said, you know, to people, like, and it's almost like agree to disagree philosophy. If you might not agree with someone feeling that way, but they do, let them feel that way. But you could have just blown off the whole girls celebrating her birthday weekend altogether, but instead you decided to go have a great time and then drive 4 hours to see your grandparents. And then when you get there, your mother is like, your grandmother was so disappointed that you weren't here when they got here last night. And let her feel that way. Let her have her opinion. But you know, you could have stayed the whole weekend at your friend's birthday celebration and not seen your grandparents, but you did it because you wanted to. So it's basically saying do things because you want to. Don't get bullied into doing things. So you really wanted to go to your friend's birthday celebration, but you wanted to see your grandparents. So it's a compromise. You made the compromise. Decide what you want to do. Don't, you know, and it's true. Because if you didn't want to go to that birthday celebration, then don't go at all. But you wanted to go, but yet you also wanted to see your grandparents. So you did what you wanted to do. And so your friend is pissed off or has her opinion, like, why did she even bother to come if she was going to leave? You know, just for one night. She couldn't come 2 nights. And also her mother being upset with the fact, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning all of a sudden. Not been yawning all day. I wonder if it's in the car. I don't know. But so let your mother feel those feelings because that's how she feels. But you did, instead of blowing it off altogether, you wanted to see your grandparents. So it's just let them theory. And if someone doesn't like what you're doing, so what? People are, and even she says, people that we love, we have negative things towards them. Like she said, her husband, every morning when he wakes up, he's like, he's farting. She goes, it's disgusting. He's disgusting. She goes, but I love him with all my heart and soul. But I'm allowed to allow yourself to have negative feelings towards people and allow people to have negative feelings towards you. So I'm like, oh, never thought of it that way. And I have said since my divorce that I'm not going to judge, I try not to judge people because I was judged so much. I think this kind of goes hand in hand. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I need to have the air on. I don't know if it's the air because it is. Maybe I'll put it like towards my feet. I don't know. My eyes are tearing. You can go around. Okay, good. But, and if you accept people and, silence. Oh, I forget what it said. Something about silence. Silence is like speaks, silence speaks volumes in anything. Oh, silence does not give them power. If somebody says to you, oh, really? You're going to do that? Oh. And you go back at them. You kind of are feeding into their negativity. But by saying nothing, it doesn't give them power. And I agree with that. Because I say that all the time. Like, my sister, they're constantly busting her chops. And she's like, at them. And they constantly do it. And I say to her all the time, ignore them. I go, they don't go at me. They don't. The more you go at somebody, like the more you go back at them, show them that it upsets you, the more they're going to do it. And so that's the same theory. Like it's you're giving them power over you and letting them know, but by staying silent there. And I've done that. I've started to do that with my family, not knowing that this is what I'm doing, but now reading the book. I just smile and walk away. And there's times that my sister has been like, what the hell just happened here? Because normally I would go back at her. And now I've decided not to. So, and you can even say to someone, if they say, well, I don't understand why you're doing that. And say, that's okay that you don't understand. And they're like, it's sure, this woman is saying and she's a motivational speaker, Mel Robbins, I think. And she reads the book. So I like that fact that the author is reading it too. And it does get into relationships. And there was a passage, and I really needed to read that dating, someone in my singles group posted it, and that's what prompted me to say, wow, that's powerful. I'd love to read the rest of the book or listen to it. And it says how dating isn't to find the one. Dating is so that you figure out what kind of person you do and don't want, what you want in a person, and even the crappy ones teach you something. And that is just so true. Because like I said, and I think I said this yesterday, if I hadn't dated that guy Steven, who came on like gangbusters, like this guy did, and well, his name was Kenny, like Kenny did, and then Steven kind of faded like quickly, and I kind of excused that behavior, like, oh, the honeymoon phase is over. And and then for Kenny to like come on like gangbusters and then just drop off and then say, and his excuse for not wishing me a happy birthday was, you don't know what I'm dealing with. No, I don't. And that's no excuse to not take 2 seconds. So that experience with Steven really taught me, and I might have let this guy, like, okay, I don't know what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing. And I would have made excuses maybe, or I would have gave him a pass, and no. And my friend did say to me, well, you're not good at remembering my birthday. And I'm like, you're 100% right. And I'm not good at remembering people's birthdays. But I knew his birthday was coming up, and in August. And I was already like in my head, what are we going to do? And this was new, and he made a big deal out of my birthday. When you're first dating someone, I would not expect him to just not wish me a happy birthday. Especially because he was being childish. And that's one thing that I've learned from him. I'm not going to accept childish behavior. And I already started talking to some new guy. Actually, two other guys too. They kind of reached out to me. I don't know if it'll go anywhere because it could just be one message and done. But because one guy we matched, and then he's like, hey, how's your day going? I was like, my day's good. How's yours? Boom, he's gone already. And so he unmatched us or whatever. So whatever, I don't care. So this guy that I'm talking to, I said, I have, we're talking, and he was asking me what I'm looking for and everything. I was like, someone that's open, honest, communication key. And, when I said just a little bit of that, and I said, I have a scenario for you. We start dating. I said, we meet, we hit it off. We're seeing each other for about a month. And I had a pre-planned weekend with my kids, grandkids, and family prior to us meeting. And it so happened that my birthday fell on that weekend. And you don't wish me a happy birthday. Even though I came up with a compromise and said, I will come back like a day early and spend the last day of my weekend with you. And he's like, family comes first. I would see you off, give you a kiss, wish you well, and thank you for compromising and coming back a day, early, so on the last day that we could spend the day together. He's like, and he went in, and it could be bullshit too. This is in the beginning. So I just don't know. And my friend said, because Kenny was not a good kisser at all. He really didn't kiss me. Like, it was like a little peck. And then when we were in bed and he really thought he was making out with me, it was, oh my God. It was not good at all. But I was willing to go past that because he was a gentleman and all that. But my friend goes, you should say, yeah, and maybe learn how to kiss. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to even say anything. And I'm wondering if I'll hear from him. And if I do, I will say, can I please know what you were dealing with? Because, just out of curiosity. And I'll say, okay, thank you. I wish you well. Thank you for finally telling me. I wish you well. And if he says what, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Like, you proved to me how self-centered you are. I'm sorry. Like, you're selfish. Maybe this is why you haven't been in a relationship for 5 years. And if you really want to hear all my opinions, I'd love to hear yours too. Because I'm sure then he's going to come back with really crappy negative ones. I'm going to say, I would love to give you some of my opinions over, things to help you, with the next person. And so, but yeah, this part of this book gets into relationships, and that little blurb is part of relationship chapter. So I thought that is really what we are and aren't willing to accept. And this guy, the newest guy that I'm speaking to, I'm not going to, I feel like it gets jinxed, because the minute I tell people and bring someone around, and like I said, for my aunts, for not this Saturday, next Saturday, oh, +1. And I told him, and he's like, oh, anywhere you tell me to go, I'll go. And, and I don't think I'm going to be so quick to do that. Like, I think it's going to have to be like 6 months in, because, and I really like hate the fact, because it always seems I meet someone and then right before my birthday, it all falls apart. And I have not had someone on my birthday. The last person was Steven. And he like imploded, and like, oh, let's split the rent 4 ways and all that, right before my 50th, which it was a big birthday. And he actually told my kids he got me something, and it was engraved or embroidered or something, and it was personalized, and he told my kids he was still going to give it to me. Well, that didn't happen, so he was full of shit. So that kind of, and I'm going to be 60 next year, and I'm going on this cruise, and not that I want to have someone for my 60th birthday, but I want to have a good birthday. So whether I don't want it, because my 50th really sucked. Like, my kids wanted to do a barbecue thing. It was at my sister's. My sister, they very, very last minute asked people. My birthday's the day after the 4th of July. So, and I think they had it on the 4th of July, which my kids were just kids. So we're talking, my son was 20. My daughter was in high school, I think. Because you figure 10 years, well, no, my son was 21. So it was 9 years ago. So he was, well, no, I don't know. He was 21 when I was 50, I think. So I really, my daughter was probably, I know we were in the other place. So she was a senior in high school. So they were kids, and they wanted to do something. And I felt like my family should have done more to help them, not financial wise or whatever, but, to invite people. They really should have really done a better job, that I feel anyway, of helping them. They were kids. So my son was actually 20, gonna be 21, because he's, so I had him when I was 29, so gonna be 30. So so you figure 29, gonna be 30, and so 20 years. No, 20. He was 19, gonna be 20, I guess. And I think he was 21. He turned 21 in that house. So he was 20. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But so I've told my kids I want to spend the day together. And this book is helping me with this, because everybody's talking about going to the Poconos, and go to the Poconos, because my birthday's on a Sunday. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend the day going to a comfort station on my birthday, next year. I don't want to deal with my siblings up there who could say something negative. So let them, this, in this let them theory book, let them all go. But I'm not. And I'm going to make that clear to my kids. And if they want to go, that's fine. But I want you to come back on Sunday, which I don't think my son can go, unless his girlfriend can. Oh, the 4th, she is off. And he's off on Saturdays, so they'll be off. And, if they come back Sunday, as long as they come back early enough, I really just don't want them. Like, I am going to have a conversation with them and say, listen, everybody's talking, oh yeah, next year in the Poconos. I can tell you this. I do not want to be in the Poconos on my birthday. I don't want to be around my family who necessarily could say negative things. I want it to be a great memory. So, and I know my brother and sister-in-law will be here. So if they I was say, if they really want to celebrate my birthday with me, they can come down here. And I'm sorry. I know there's a big to-do up there on the 4th of July, but I'm sorry. This is 1 year I'm asking you to do this. It's not like I'm asking you to do this all the time. So, and I sent it to my niece, and she's like, oh my God, I got to read that book. I sent it to my nephew's girlfriend. She's like, I so need to get this book. So I really, can't wait to finish reading this book and let them. And I've got to remember. And it's even like when you're in a crappy job, crappy relationship, you can't pick your family, but let them say what they're going to say. They're gonna say it anyway. So just let them. And then, everybody's entitled to their opinions. And don't let them have the power by believing their negativity that they have said towards you. Don't let it get to you. Don't believe it. I mean, easier said than done. And the woman who wrote the book and is reading the book says that. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to try really hard that let them theory. And as far as, my job, when things get to me, let them say what they're going to say. And friends, and I think I have to say and and it does go into, it says about friends that have strong opinions and almost like they're trying to bully you into doing or handling a situation the way they want to, the way they want you to. And I'm not going to do that anymore. And one thing she said is with family, and I'm sure it goes for friends, is, I think with friend and or someone tells you, you should say this, you should do this, you should, and say, well, I hear you and that's your opinion and what you would do in my situation, but that's not what I want to do. So kind of you're acknowledging them and their opinion, but letting them know you have your own opinion. And I don't know what this guy is a nice looking guy, and he walks his dog, but I don't know that he's married, but I thought a woman was walking this dog one day. But he has kind of a dad bod going on. But maybe I need to get my dog and walk my dog now. But so that's that. So I really I really need to. I think I excused some things with Kenny. I really did. Like, I started to excuse things. Like when I went to his house and I did not know we were going to stay there. And, you know, I didn't speak up and say, I thought you were coming here, and I understand Friday night you had to go to work and plans changed, but what's changed now? Like, get yourself pretty and get here. Like, I addressed it, but I should have said, I'm sorry. Like, I don't like that tone. And I think by him not texting me on my birthday, that I kind of, you know, really, like the little things that I was letting go, which I don't think they were major things, but I think it taught me in the future I have to address, like right then and there. And it may seem very small, but all those small things led to an eruption of emotions. And really what I should have done is just ignored him and not said, hey, you unfriended me on it. Waited to hear from him. And I think this guy's on the phone, and he's like, his arms are going, and I thought he was like, he had his arms out. I thought someone was coming to him and they were gonna hug him, you know, like someone running to hug someone. But I think he's on the phone, and it's not a very nice conversation. So, but my friend said to me, oh my God, you get right back on the horse. And I feel like I can't give up at this point. It sucks, but I have to take what I've learned from past, even talking to guys, and like this guy, if he wants to meet tomorrow night, let's meet tomorrow night right away. And if it doesn't, you know, I'm not feeling it or whatever, then say, you know, it was really nice meeting you, but I'm not, you know, I didn't feel that connection. Or anything that he says or does that I feel like, I don't know, down the line, I don't know if that's going to work. Address it right away. So I have to, life's too short to not, that's what I'm realizing. Life is too short to waste my time. So I think this was a lesson learned that, you know, I can't waste my time anymore. So, all right. Well, today's Thursday. This guy's in the middle of the road screaming at someone. Oh my gosh. He's like walking, like he is walking where you're supposed to cross. But he like stopped in the middle of crossing. And now like he came from that way, and then he walked up the sidewalk, walked back, walked that way. He's crossing that way and having a very heated conversation with someone. And there is another one, like there's close together walkways. So I'm wondering if he's going to come back up the other. But it's a very heated conversation. Now, I don't know who he's talking to, but I wouldn't want to be the person on the other end. Oh, here comes Dad Bod Guy. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye.